A tourist ship enters the Arctic. The journey seems normal until everyone on board disappears. No bodies, no clues, just an empty vessel drifting in the cold. 3 survivors remain. They search for answers, but the deeper they go, the more terrifying the truth becomes. This is Arctic Void, a mystery that was never meant to be uncovered. As the movie begins, we see 2 Americans, Alan and Ray, who have arrived in the Arctic Circle. They are filmmakers, here to shoot a documentary. At the airport, Alan looks frustrated because his luggage is missing. The area has a very low population, making it difficult for them to find a cab. After some struggle, they manage to get one. A ship is about to depart from this location, and they need to board it. Despite the delay, they arrive just in time. Since they need a cameraman, they hire a local man named Sean. He is not a professional, but they have no other options. Sean was previously in the military. On the ship, there are several other tourists from different countries. Some are scientists, while others are just there for sightseeing. Their tour guide, Jim, provides information about the Arctic region as their journey begins. Everyone seems excited. Alan does not appear to be enjoying the trip or his work. This is noticeable from the beginning. Alan and Ray do not know much about Sean. He carries a box with him at all times and never lets it out of his sight. During breakfast, Alan and Ray get curious about Sean's box. They decide to open it and find an old, strange-looking sound device inside. Despite Alan's hesitation, Ray puts on the headphones and listens. But there is no actual music, only unusual, eerie sounds. Intrigued, Ray asks Alan to try it too. Alan hesitates, but eventually puts on the headphones. He also hears faint, unsettling noises. Before they can figure out more, Sean suddenly arrives. Not wanting to get caught, Alan and Ray quickly close the box. Sean doesn't say anything, but it's clear that the device is important to him. He picks up the box and leaves, taking it with him. Afterwards, Alan sends Sean to film the surrounding area while he goes to the washroom. There, he tries texting his wife, but there's no network. Every message fails to send. Before coming on this trip, Alan had an argument with his wife, and now he regrets it. Meanwhile, Ray and Sean continue recording. They capture footage of Jim, the tour guide. Ray asks Jim why people choose to live in such a remote place, so far from the rest of the world. Jim explains that people stay here because it makes them feel closer to nature. After Jim leaves, Ray notices something strange, a bird with blood dripping from its eyes. Disturbed, he tries to show it to Sean, but before he can, the bird flies away. Ignoring the strange incident, Ray joins Alan, who is speaking with 2 scientists. The scientists are studying solar flares, powerful bursts from the sun that could potentially disrupt human civilization. This conversation seems unimportant at first, but later it will become crucial. After they leave, Alan confides in Ray about his failing marriage. Ray listens and encourages him to enjoy the trip instead of worrying. But before they can continue, they hear a loud commotion. Rushing outside, they see a disturbing sight, a walrus attacking and killing its own baby. Everyone is shocked. Jim, clearly disturbed, admits he has never seen anything like this before. He quickly gathers everyone and takes them inside. The beautiful journey they had planned is starting to take a dark turn. Later, Jim distributes food to the group. Alan takes some, but suddenly feels sick and starts vomiting. Sean, still recording everything, captures the moment. The other tourists seem fine and continue enjoying themselves. But then, something unbelievable happens. Jim notices something odd about the birds flying above them. Their movements aren't natural, and before anyone can react, everyone on the ship mysteriously disappears. Only Alan, Ray, and Sean remain. Sean, still holding the camera, witnesses it all. He is in shock. Ray is frozen. No one understands what just happened. Alan and Ray step outside and are shocked. The passengers' belongings are still there, but the people are gone. At first, they think it might be a prank. They search every corner of the boat, calling out for someone, but the ship is empty. Slowly, reality sets in. This isn't a joke. The people have truly vanished. Confused, Alan and Ray ask Sean if he saw anything, but Sean is just as clueless. I don't know, it happened so fast. Sean pulls out his phone to call for help. No network. Alan, already feeling unwell, suddenly notices blood coming from his mouth. Ray tries to assess the situation. He goes inside the ship's cabin and attempts to contact someone through the radio. No response. Desperate, he grabs a pair of binoculars and scans the horizon. In the distance, he spots a small town, but something is strange. There's no sign of life. Ray rushes back to tell the others. Alan, still in shock, hardly reacts, but Sean decides to check for himself. Realizing they need help, the three men agree to leave the ship and head toward the town. Before leaving, Alan finds a camera left behind by a tourist. Curious, he checks the recorded footage. Just then, Ray notices something disturbing, a fresh wound on Alan's neck. Alan has no memory of how he got injured. Ray insists they treat it as soon as possible. Taking essential supplies, they get into the lifeboat and set off for the mysterious, silent town. Upon arrival, they find something unsettling. Not a single person is there. The town is completely deserted. There are houses, hotels, and buildings, but no signs of life. It's as if everyone disappeared in an instant. Sean, sensing danger, warns them to stay together. They enter a large, empty building. The silence is overwhelming. Then they hear something. Following the noise, they discover a wounded deer, twitching and struggling. It looks just like the strange behavior they had witnessed in other animals before. Now, a terrifying question lingers. What happened to the people? Why are only the three of them left? Ray notices something chilling. A bowl of soup sitting on a table, still warm. The people here didn't leave. They vanished, just like the passengers on the ship. Alan was getting weaker. His leg was injured, and walking became nearly impossible. Ray knew they couldn't stay, but leaving Alan behind wasn't an option. He started limping back toward the boat, hoping to find medicine. On the way, something unexpected happened. A polar bear appeared. It stood right in front of him, but instead of attacking, it just stared. Its body was covered in wounds, its movements slow and unnatural. Like the other animals they had seen, it was sick, disoriented. Without a sound, it turned and walked away. Back in the town, Ray and Sean kept searching. In the distance, a faint glow appeared, a building with lights on. It was the only sign of life they had seen so far. Running toward it, they felt a flicker of hope, but the building was empty. No people, no signs of movement. Outside, another flash caught Ray's attention. A bright light, like a signal flare. Something wasn't right. His thoughts immediately went to Alan. He rushed back and found him sitting outside, weak and barely able to move. Helping him inside, he placed him on a couch. Sean, meanwhile, wasn't focused on survival. Instead, he opened the strange device he had been carrying, put on the headphones, and listened. The same eerie, unexplainable sounds played through. Alan, struggling to stay awake, picked up a camera left behind by one of the missing tourists. He played the last recorded footage, and what he saw changed everything. The moment when everyone disappeared, Sean had been there, recording the entire thing. He wasn't just a witness. He knew something. Ray had to act fast. The lifeboat was still there, but running low on fuel. He remembered seeing abandoned vehicles nearby and decided to go find fuel. As soon as he left, Alan turned toward Sean, demanding answers. But Sean said nothing. Instead, he removed his headphones and placed them on Alan. The sound played. Alan's eyes fluttered. His body relaxed. Within seconds, he was unconscious. Ray returned to the room after refueling the lifeboat. Alan, weak and barely conscious, wanted to tell him something. Then, Ray saw the video footage. Everything changed. Anger took over as he stormed outside, grabbed Sean, and demanded the truth. He wanted answers. Sean finally gave in. This was an experiment. The missing people hadn't just disappeared. A supersonic weapon had been tested on them. The vibrations from the weapon caused them to be completely erased. But animals were affected differently. They didn't vanish, but they suffered injuries, disorientation, and sickness. Sean admitted he had been sent here to record everything. He had been promised a large sum of money and was given the device to protect himself. The sound in the headphones wasn't just noise. It shielded the brain from the effects of the weapon. That's why Alan, Ray, and Sean survived, because they had heard the sound. Alan became sick because he ate fish contaminated by radiation. Ray was in shock. The idea that the government could test such a dangerous weapon on innocent people was terrifying. Sean revealed that he had a satellite phone given to him by the military, but when he tried to contact them, there was no response. This was classified. No one was supposed to leave this place alive. Ray rushed back to Alan, who was on the verge of death. Alan, realizing the end was near, recorded one final message for his family before passing away. Ray gathered Alan's belongings and threw them into the lake, hoping someone might find them. Meanwhile, Sean walked to a nearby building. Suddenly, a gunshot echoed through the air. Sean was dead. The people behind the experiment had been watching them all along. They weren't just testing the weapon. They were studying its effects. And now, they had seen enough. No one was leaving alive. Inside the room, Ray stood alone. Then, the phone rang. He looked at Sean's lifeless body. They had been watching from the start, and now they were coming for him. And that's how it all ended. A deadly experiment a vanished population, and a secret never meant to be revealed. What do you think really happened? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like, share, and subscribe for more thrilling movie explanations. See you in the next one. Till then, stay healthy, stay safe,